Welcome to the Raise podcast with Carol Barwick. We're here to raise your confidence and inspire your creativity. This time, it's more like a season of mini episodes where Carol explores the Raise word. The Raise word is a word that will encourage you or empower you and at times inspire you to explore the word a little more for yourself. Each episode is just 10 to 15 minutes with the idea you can have a listen while you drink your cuppa. So grab your favourite drink and let's get started. Well, hello everybody and welcome to A Cuppa with Carol. I'm Carol Barwick. Those of you that are regular listeners will know that in the last episode I hinted about the word teach, and that's the word we're going to look at today. Those of you that are regular in the Raise community though, I wonder if you know what our mission statements are. We've actually got 3 of them and I'm just going to talk about one of them today, which is a really important one, and it's this: everyone can teach, everyone can learn. I honestly don't think there are any exceptions to this. I think that even if you're young or when you're very, very old, we can all teach and we can all learn. It's often a bit of a perception, isn't it, that if you're very young, if you're a child, that maybe that you don't have the wisdom to teach people. But I wonder how much you've actually learned from your children or those children around you, those young people around you. And the same with older people. Sadly, we can kind of strike them off, can't we, as not being able to do the things they used to do. Rubbish. How much have they got to teach us of their love and their experience and their wisdom from years and years of being on this earth? I wonder what you have to teach other people. Have you even thought about that before? What is it that's been put inside of you that you can teach someone else? I used to be a teacher. It was a bit of a kicking and screaming experience. I didn't want to be a teacher, but I knew that God had called me to be a teacher. I tried really hard not to be a teacher. So I got my A-levels and I had the opportunity to go and do teaching, but I needed my GCSE maths and I didn't get that, even though I tried twice at school. So with a sigh of relief, I did creative writing and music at university, thanking God that obviously that wasn't going to kind of lend itself to teaching at a later date. I did my university course, I really enjoyed it, and then I needed to look for a job. I decided to choose something that was the furthest away that I could from teaching, which was factory work. I thought that if I did some factory work for a bit, it would just give me an idea of what I would want to do in the future, but give me some money as well. So I set off with my brother to sign up at a factory agency, only to be met with this response. Actually, we don't really do factory work. That's our sister company. We're mainly a teacher training agency. Are you any good with children? I couldn't believe it. So I had a little chat with them and it became obvious that I was extremely good with children, that it was my natural ability. It was something that I did all the time, whether I was thinking about it or not. And I started to fill out the paperwork to become a classroom assistant. And then the conversation went like this: have you ever worked with children with additional and special needs? Well, I hadn't, and I really didn't want to. I knew that that was way too much out of my comfort zone. So I politely said no, and I carried on filling the paperwork out for the mainstream schools. But as I did it, I began to think, I wonder what God might want to teach me by really stretching myself. So I ripped up the second form, the first one being to do more with the factory work side of it, knowing that that would be sent off somewhere else. The second one being mainstream school. And I started to fill out the one for schools with additional needs. I went to a school in Bethnal Green, and I went to it for a week. It was a challenge. It was difficult. There were children there who, the thing that they could do was track their eyes from left to right. And even then, that might not happen. I found it an incredibly challenging experience, but at the end of the week, nobody would let me leave, and I didn't want to leave either. I stayed at that school for a year, and I absolutely loved it, and God taught me so much about the value of people, that it's not about what you can do, it's who you are. I met beautiful, beautiful children and adults who were working together to see the value in each other. And one of the things that happened as I worked in that school for children with special needs was I would train up any supply teachers that came in, because it was clear that I knew what I was doing. And several people said to me, Carol, do you know that they're getting paid triple what you're getting paid, and you're not qualified yet? Don't you want to go and qualify to be a teacher? So at the end of that year, I went and did a PGCE. That taught me a lot of things as well. A very steep learning curve. And at the end of that, I went and did supply teaching for a year, as I still wasn't quite ready to have a classroom of my own. I met my best friend, who would also go to Guatemala with me. I did 2 years in a school where, again, the learning curve was extremely steep, and God taught me so much. And at the end of that, I went to Guatemala with Toy Box. So much learning, but so much teaching. So I come back to the question I said at the beginning of the podcast. What have you got to teach someone else? Because you've got something. We've all got something to teach someone else. Everyone can teach. Everyone can learn. Who might be missing out on what you've got to teach them today? I'm going to finish with a poem that I wrote about high school. I didn't really want to go to high school. I didn't like school at all. And the thought of having another change in my already swiftly changing childhood was not something that I relished. But there was a beautiful story that came out of it. A music teacher taught me something about the value of me being me. We're back to that again, that value. So I'm going to just read you a poem that some of you will have heard already. I didn't want to go to high school. I didn't want to change. I didn't want the things I knew to suddenly feel strange. I didn't want to visit lots of different places and meet lots of different teachers and see lots of different faces. But then I met Miss Bryant and a broken double bass. And she said, I'll fix it for you if you come to this place. And I had a revelation. I knew what I could be. That day I realised something. My high school needed me. So if you're feeling nervous, unsure, a bit afraid, remember we're all created. For something you've been made. Remember that your high school is going to get something too. You're going to your high school, and your high school needs you. I know that probably there isn't anybody listening here that's about to go to high school, but what is it that you've got to teach somebody else? How could you convey the message that life needs them, that the world is more important with them in it? Thanks for having a cuppa with me. Let's have a cuppa again soon. If you've enjoyed having a cuppa with me, then you can buy me a coffee. Go to buymeacoffee.com/Carol Carol Barwick. Let's have a cuppa again soon.